Of course, once you have, all of you mentioned that you have obviously an intranet of some kind, you're doing document management, but you also probably have a bunch of other things that you were using before or that you're using now, and the question is, how do you migrate all this content to SharePoint? And so in our case, we had 4 different things. We identified very quickly what should go away, right? What content should just disappear. We're going to archive it and say goodbye, right, to that content. So that was one bucket of information we needed to identify. File servers, of course, everybody uses file servers, right? So the question is, well, file servers will continue to be there. The question is, what should be in the file servers? And that's probably one of the biggest challenges we run into, that people that got used to the file servers were just hanging on to them for their life, right? It's like, but I love putting my documents there. It says, yeah, but now you need to love to put your documents over here. And so that's sort of a winning or getting out of one relationship to go to another relationship. That was a tough thing for people that were really entrenched into that file server. So in some cases, we actually had to shut down that capability and said, hey, that folder is going to go in read only, right? So you'll still have it, not deleting your files, but you can't add a single more file, right? So it's locked now, that sort of thing. And so we had to get a little tough sometimes on how to move people from file servers to Insight. And then obviously we migrated previous sites that we had in 2.0 and 3.0, kind of moved them all to 2007. So that was another challenge on its own, right? Unlike moving just files. And then our customer site was a previous vintage, so we had to upgrade that as well. Okay, so just considerations that come into there. Hopefully this will be interesting for you, is how do we maintain the Insight? Because you put this thing out there, and I've seen a lot of shops that just sort of have it there and hoping that it organically will be maintained and up to date and clean and that sort of thing. And I believe that's wishful thinking. I think you have to be very proactive as to what to do with this. So general users, as I mentioned, we have trained them, we have gotten feedback from them, and we have taught them how to share content. First reaction was, it's harder than attaching it to email, right? Because that's the norm. You send somebody an email, you attach 10 megabytes worth of data, and then you hit send, and everybody, it's a mess. As opposed to, I'll send you a link. So we had to go all the way to our senior staff and say, you guys have to model this behavior, right? You have to be able to send people an email and say, here's a link. And so people will start seeing that we're all having this behavior. And we can't wish it. We have to, in essence, create that sort of a culture, right? Kind of change. You can't change culture, right? You can only change habits. Ultimately, a collection of habit changes will form a new culture. So if you want to go from a file sharing, email, attachment kind of culture to a SharePoint link kind of culture, you're going to start changing the habits. And the only way you could do that is by recruiting people at the top and influential people in sales, influential people everywhere that are going to acquire the new habits, right? And then you have a chance. Contributors, obviously we had to teach them about the taxonomy and about all those kinds of things. And then we actually put in some enforcers in the taxonomy where we actually made some of the elements of the taxonomy mandatory, so that you would have a trap, right? So something that would encourage people to use it correctly. But the key to success here is the site owners. I want to ask you if any of you have sort of like a users group or a super users group. We call it site owners in our shop. Show of hands. You have one? Okay. You do? What about you guys at PRTM?
We have.
You have? Okay. Great. Yeah, so I think that's fundamental to the success. So we meet with them monthly. Initially, it was a show and tell, meaning IT folks were sharing with the site owners, meaning of life and how you do this and this, that, and the other. And then we started turning the tables and says, okay, we're not going to present anything next time, so you're going to present, right? So we selected a group, and we did door prices, and I mean every bribe under the planet to get them to the meeting, and then another set of bribes to actually share with us, with all of the other site owners, what they're doing. But so the people actually, there were some gems out of that. I felt that some of the site owners were very creative, got some really wonderful sites built, very rich in terms of functionality and all of that. So that really continues to be the catalyst for Insight in terms of having this very live group of people that and it goes in cycles, right? There starts to kind of die a little bit, and then you got to pump some life into it and get it up again, and maybe cycle some people through. And I mean, there's some hardcores, right? People that really love the stuff and will stay there. But I think every year, every 9 months or something, pump in new blood into this so that it can work. Make sense? That one? Okay. I think we talk about all these capabilities that go along with not just content management, but all of the forms and Excel reports and that sort of thing. Usage-wise, as you can see, we've been increasing. This last month, March, we had about 40,000 visits on Insight. So this is for us. So we track this every month to see what's going on. We also track who is what are the top searches, right? So so then that gives us a clue as to maybe people can't find something. Easy Labor is our time tracking system, and it went into a new law at the company that says everybody has to use it. So all of a sudden everybody's trying to find out how do I log in. So that was one of the top searches. There was a guy's name for like 2 or 3 months in a row that was on the top search of the company. I'm going like, what is going on? Never figured that one out. But so looking at these kinds of things, I'm assuming everybody looks at statistics in terms of what's going on and who's using what, doing what. And then we went from about 4,000 or so documents to about almost 13,000 documents now. Yes?
What do you use for site analytics? Any vendor product or out-of-the-box reports?
I believe we bought something. What do you recall what we have?
No, I thought it was out of the box.
We are using actually Index.
Index reporting?
Yeah, but I would evaluate that. Given a second thought for me, I would probably really look at it. Definitely, we are having some challenges with what it can do for us.
So we use Omniture Site Catalyst, and we are going through some discrepancies in the analytics on page views. So out of the box, IS raw log files, when you run the report with different tools, gives different results. So
2000 out of the box reports that we have used, like you're saying, some of the stars, they don't come right.
yeah.
Supposedly SP2 has some fixes, but
Excellent.